Hare Krishna. We'll sing this song, Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu. Shuddha Bhakata Charana Renu Bhajanam Anukulam Shuddha Shuddha Bhagata Charana Renu Bhajanam Anukulam Bhagata Seva Parama Siddhi Premalati Karamulam Madhavadidhi Bhakati Janani Jatane Palana Kori Krishna Basade Basade Bole Paramadare Bore E Gaura Je Sabastane Karila Brahmana Range Se Sabasthana Heribo Ami Pranai Bhagata Sange Mrudanga Vadya Shunite Manam Avasara Sadajaje Gaura Behita Kirtana Shuni Anande Rudaya Naje Jugala Murti Dekhiya Mora Paramananda Hoyam Prasada Seva Korite Hayam Sakala Prapancha Jayam जे दिना गृहे भजन देखी गृहते गोलोक भाया चरण सिधु देखिया गंगा सुख न सीमा पाया तुलसी देखी जुड़ाए प्राण माधव तो शनि जाने गौर प्रिया शाक सेवाने जीवन सार्थक माने भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने अनुकूल पाय जा प्रति दिवसे परम सुखे स्वीकार करो एता शुद्ध भक्ता चरण रेणु भजनानुकूल भगत सेवा परम सुखी प्रेमलती करमूला Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare सभी बोलिए everybody Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Jai Gauranidai Patita Pavana Gauranidai. Jai Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madan Mohan Ji ki, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki, Patita Pavana Gaur Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ekadashi Maha Mahotsav ki, Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktaranda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Translation. Thus, from the lotus feet of pure devotee is conducive to devotional service, while service to Vaishnavas is itself the supreme perfection and the root of the tender creeper of a divine love. I observe with great care the holy days like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, for they are the mother of devotion. As my dwelling place, I choose with the greatest of reverence and love the transcendental abode of Sri Krishna. All those places where Lord Gaur Sundar traveled for a pastime, I will visit in the company of loving devotee. My mind always begs for the opportunity to hear the music of the mridanga. Upon hearing the kind of kirtan ordained by Lord Gaurachandra, my heart dances in ecstasy. By beholding the deity form of divine couple Sri Sri Radha Krishna, I feel the greatest joy. By honoring the Lord's prasad, I conquer over all worldly illusions. Goloka Vrindavan appear in my home whenever I see the worship and the service of Lord Hari going on there. Upon seeing the Ganga, which is a river of a nectar emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, my happiness knows no bound. The sight of the holy Tulsi tree soothes my soul, for I know she gives pleasure to Lord Krishna. By honoring Shak, a green leafy vegetable preparation, a dear favorite of Lord Chaitanya, I consider life worthwhile. Whatever Bhakti Vinod obtained that is conducive for the service of Sri Krishna, he accepts every day with the greatest of joy. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadamtikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Miti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devai Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की, पतित पावन गौर निताय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणम्। So we welcome all of you Tuesday morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Before we start the discussing on Srila Prabhupada Lilamritam, generally what we do on every Ekadashi day, like we have Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita means which is spoken by Geet, a song, sung by Bhagavan, Bhagavat. And Bhagavat means about Lord Krishna, his activities. So when we say about Lord Krishna, that also includes devotee. Therefore it's called Bhagavat. So Srila Prabhupada Lilamritam is none other than Bhagavat. And before we discuss this Bhagavatam, I'd like to seek the blessing of the Bhagavat who is sitting here among us, his guest Anand Mai Prabhuji. So he is the one who is a part of this wonderful pastime which happened on this earthly planet few years ago. So by his blessing we can speak something, purify our heart and give pleasure to all the devotees. We are reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamritam, volume 4. In every town and village around the world, this book is compiled by Srila Sasrudas Goswami Maharaj. The thought of these devotees preaching in England made Prabhupada ecstatic. With their kirtan, they will become more popular than yogis. With their gymnastic and impersonal meditation. As London program became a tangible fact, Prabhupada began to reveal more plans. Prabhupada already seemed to have hundreds of detailed plans for implementing Krishna consciousness around the world. He only needed willing helpers. In the daily kirtan rehearsal, Prabhupada taught the devotee to chant Hare Krishna and other devotional songs, beginning with a slow tempo and building gradually. He will regularly interrupt and have them begin again, listening carefully as Yamuna led the chanting. Prabhupada will stop her at times to correct her Sanskrit pronunciation. Here one particular word comes, listening carefully. So if we are very attentive in hearing, then we are attentive in chanting. If we are not attentive in hearing, then because of false ego, there is a significance of humility, that one is willing to hear. Somebody is not humble and the boosted by the false ego, generally we observe, they don't hear, but they keep on speaking. Or even if he is not speaking, it's just going above the head. Listening carefully means implementing. And result is what? They got the success. Because they heard successfully from Srila Prabhupada. After 2 weeks in Montreal, the London party came together for a final meeting with Prabhupada. He was sending them to start a center in London to fulfill his spiritual master's dream. The sannyasis, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, had sent to London, Prabhupada told them, had lectured in a few places, posed for the photos with lords and ladies, and then returned to India. But Prabhupada wanted his disciple to go out boldly, chant holy name, and attract others to chant. Lord Chaitanya had personally used this method while touring South India. Chaitanya Charitamrita described that whoever saw Lord Chaitanya became ecstatic in love of God. Then that ecstatic person will chant the holy name and ask others to chant. And when they saw that person, they too will become ecstatic. Thus, the waves of ecstatic love of Krishna will increase. Prabhupada predicted that when the devotee chanted Hare Krishna, the people of London will hear the mantra, become devotee, and then enlighten others. Krishna consciousness will grow. The only requirement was the chanting be done purely, without any material motivation. Prabhupada's enthusiasm was contagious, and as he spoke, he filled his disciple with the same contagious enthusiasm. And same thing Prabhupada did in the US in the beginning days at Tompkins Square Park. What did Prabhupada do? He chanted purely without any material motivation. Even what we do kirtan is not to show how much good singer am I. Kirtan is for the pleasure of their lordship. Even our japa is for the pleasure of their lordship. So if that is done properly, Krishna is pleased. If Krishna is pleased, Yasmin Tushtam, Jagat Tushtam. Krishna will surely send some wonderful soul. And that happened. I heard that in beginning days when Prabhupada began the preaching in the US, he used to go to Tompkins Square Park and do kirtan for hours and hours together. And beginning day nothing happened. Hardly anybody will come. So at one point Prabhupada thought of considering, let me go back to some other place. So he thought, today let me give last chance. Srila Prabhupada went early in the morning. I heard that something around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. Sat at a place below a particular tree which is still there. It's like a Siddhavat. That tree is a perfected tree, like we hear Lord Buddha sat below a tree. And that tree became a Siddha. Bodha Gaya, is that tree still there? Bodhi Vruksha. So the tree below which Prabhupada sat is like a Siddha So Prabhupada sat below that tree, I heard that, and his eyes were completely closed, and just having kirtan in his hand, he began the kirtan in the morning. Until evening he was doing kirtan at a stretch. I don't know when did he answer the nature's call and what's about eating and drinking water. So at a stretch he did that call till 5 o'clock. He thought that is the last day, let me try something, work out here. Around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when his eyes were open, he saw some people dancing in front of him. And that became hopeful for him, and the program started and then preaching began. When Mukunda asked Prabhupada if he had any specific instructions, Prabhupada replied with a story. In his youth, he had once seen a movie of a Charlie Chaplin. The setting was a formal ball held outdoor, and off from the main dance arena were lenses with the benches where couple sets. Some mischievous boys had plastered glue on one of the benches, and the young man and his girlfriend came and sat down. When the young man got up, Prabhupada laughed and he told the story. His tail tore up the middle. Prabhupada told how the couple had returned to the dance, unaware of what had happened. But now they drew stares from the other dancers, wondering why he was suddenly attracting so much attention. The young man went into dressing room and saw in the mirror his ripped coattail. Deliberately, he then tore his coat all the way up the collar, returned to his partner, and began dancing exuberantly. Then another man joined, ripping his own coattail and dancing with his partner, and as if to compete with the first couple. One by one, the other dancer followed, ripping their coattail and dancing with abdomen. By the conclusion of the story, devotees in Prabhupada's room were all laughing uproariously, but finally their laughter subsided and the meeting ended. Not until the devotee were already at airport did Mukunda, talking with Shyamasundar, begin to appreciate and marvel at how expertly Prabhupada answered his question. By their bold, enthusiastic, confident preaching, they will attract people. Not everyone will immediately join in the dancing, as had the people in the Charlie Chaplin film. The devotee might even be considered crazy at first. Recently, we called some of the boys, and when the dancing kirtan was going on, like a culture shock for them. Like, how can somebody singing and started jumping or dancing? So they were staring at the whole group, what is this happening? But if the Lord Chaitanya show mercy upon them, they can also become a part of that dancing. But they will be offering Krishna consciousness, the highest and the rarest gift. The intelligent people will gradually appreciate this, even if at first they scoffed. By Srila Prabhupada's order, his London-bound disciples holding kirtan in public will present a profile quite different from the reserved profile of his sannyasi godbrother. His godbrother has imitated the British ways, but Prabhupada wanted the British to imitate the Vaishnavas. To appear in the street of London with shaven head and dhotis will require a boldness, but it will be exciting to chant, carrying out the order of Lord Chaitanya, and the people will follow gradually but definitely. It was the will of Lord Chaitanya. What to say about the state of London? It requires boldness to walk in dhoti kurta in the state of Hyderabad. Even in India, in holy places, which are full of holy places. Sometimes people wonder, once we had happened to go to one holy place, and some group of students were there. So one man came and told to some group of students, see, this man is already gone, the one who is in saffron dhoti kurta. Why you are wasting your life? You are wearing saffron, you are wearing dhoti kurta and dancing. Why wasting your life? Why don't you pursue your material career and become successful in your life? Even in temple, in the traditional temple, which is thousands of years old, we witness such kind of people. So it really requires a boldness. And unless Prabhupada would have been not there, it's impossible that we will get a courage to go and what to speak dhoti kurta. Even putting tilak, will not get that courage. Because Prabhupada had that boldness, that enthusiasm. So, this comes Srimad Bhagavatam, when Devahuti was serving Kardama Muni. So, Devahuti was not so advanced spiritually. Because she served Kardama Muni very faithfully, she got the same realization. So, we can get the same realization, same confidence. Not the same devotion that Prabhupada had, but some drops of it. By serving attentively, hearing attentively. And we can see Anand Mahaprabhu last 50 plus years, because he heard attentively, you be here and distribute the book in the Telugu language. He heard very attentively. If not attentive hearing, we will not see him here. Because he heard attentively, we are seeing here at last 50 years. It's not possible to remain at it's like a kshetra sannyasi. Srila Prabhupada's visit to Montreal took place early in the summer of 1968. 6 months after his return to America, in India from July to December of 1967, he had recovered his health, and on December 14 he had returned to San Francisco. After a few weeks, he had gone to Los Angeles, where a small group of disciples had opened a storefront temple in the middle class black and Hispanic neighborhood. The storefront was bare and the location secluded. Prabhupada had stayed there 2 months, delivering lectures, holding and giving strength and inspiration to his disciples. Although a buzzing in his head had made working difficult, he had found the warm climate and sunshine agreeable and had continued to translate Srimad Bhagavatam, dictating tapes and sending them to Boston for typing. A reporter from Life had come to Srila Prabhupada's apartment and interviewed him for an upcoming Life lecture, The Year of the Guru. When the story had appeared, it had mixed Srila Prabhupada and his movement with the coverage of other gurus. Although the article had carried a large color photo of Srila Prabhupada and favorably described a reporter's visit to New York ISKCON Center, Prabhupada had said that being grouped with gurus who taught concoction of yogas and meditation was not good. In May, a few months later, leaving Los Angeles, Prabhupada had paid a first visit to his ISKCON center in Boston. There also, he had found a few disciples based in a small storefront. He had lectured at many of his local universities, including Harvard and MIT. At MIT, addressing a gathering of students and faculty, he had challenged, where in this university is a department to teach scientifically the difference between a living body and the dead body. MIT, where is Almighty? The most fundamental science, the science of the living soul, was not being taught. They taught so many things, but they forgot the main thing. After Boston, Srila Prabhupada had come to Montreal. And after 3 months in Montreal, Srila Prabhupada flew to Seattle, where he stayed for 1 month. Then he briefly visited Santa Fe, New Mexico, where ISKCON Center was a tiny and isolated storefront. Prabhupada's reason for traveling from center to center were to train and convince each disciple to speak with newcomers. Many young people came to hear, but Prabhupada found the majority already ruined by illicit sex and drugs. They were rich man's sons, but they had become hippies, wandering the streets. By Krishna's grace, now some of them were being saved. Even while recuperating in India, Prabhupada had always thought of returning to America to continue his movement. The Indian had seemed interested only in sense gratification, like that of Americans. But many American youth, disillusioned with their father's wealth, were not going to the skyscraper or to their father's business. As Prabhupada had seen from his stay in New York City and San Francisco, thousands of youths were seeking an alternative to materialism. Frustrated, they were ripe for spiritual knowledge. The devotees, still neophyte, knew nothing of spiritual life, and in most cases, very little of material life. This is a wonderful qualification they had. Although they don't know much about spiritual life, but they were not interested in the material life. On the other hand, if we see India, sometimes we met some people, they know Bhagavad Gita in and out. Like a Rajdhani Express, dhar, they recite entire Bhagavad Gita. But The application is not to go to spiritual life. The application is to boost how much knowledgeable am I. And the interest is to earn the money and enjoy the life. The devotee still neophyte, knew nothing of the spiritual life, and in most cases, very little of material life. And particularly, they don't have any interest in material life. But because they were sincerely taking to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada confident that their shortcoming will not prevent their spiritual progress. This is a qualification if you want to progress Krishna consciousness. Sincerely taking to Krishna consciousness. What that means, sincere? Follow the thing as it is. Our vows, our whatever we do, to be stick to that principle without any compromise. Western youth were now dirty and morose. Their beauty had become covered. But the chanting of Hare Krishna was reviving them. Prabhupada said, just as the monsoon revived the land of Vrindavan, making it fresh and verdant, and as the Vrindavan peacocks sometimes dance jubilantly, so the devotee, having shed their material bonds, were now ecstatically dancing and chanting the holy name. When the reporter asked Prabhupada if a disciple were hippies, Prabhupada replied, no, we are not hippies, we are happies. When Rukmini Mataji, she used to work in a film industry before coming to Srila Prabhupada, and very beautiful looking externally, coming from very wealthy background. And just a young girl, I believe something 18 or 19-year-old, below 20. And when she went for Prabhupada for initiation, so Prabhupada, when her name came, she went to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada told, oh, you look so beautiful. So Rukmini Mataji thought, Prabhupada appreciating my external beauty like what other people say appreciate after my skin. She was a little confused at that time, shall I go ahead or not? And then Prabhupada paused for a moment and extended the hand, gave the beads and told, now you become beautiful internally. Now, than being a visiting lecturer or a formal guide, Srila Prabhupada was the spiritual father of his disciples. They accepted him as their real father, and he found them devoted and affectionate, far more than his own family had been. These young American boys and girls, the flower of your country, Prabhupada called them, had received the blessing of Lord Chaitanya and were delivering that blessing to their countrymen. Prabhupada said it was up to his American disciple to save their country. He was giving them the method, but they will have to implement it. Srila Prabhupada loved his disciple and they loved him. Out of love, he was giving them greatest treasure. Out of love, they were following his instruction. This was the essence of spiritual life. On the basis of this love, the Krishna consciousness movement will grow. Not surprisingly, some disciples had fallen away from their former materialistic way of living. But Prabhupada sought those sincere souls who will stay. That was the important thing, he said. One moon is more valuable than many stars. Ekas chandra tamohanti nachatara sahasrashaha. So even a few sincere workers will accomplish wonderful things. The sincere intelligent will stay, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will empower them to carry out his desire for distributing love of Krishna. In this way, the devotees' lives will become perfect. Many disciples, in fact, already felt this happening. Krishna consciousness work because they sincerely practice it, and because Srila Prabhupada carefully and patiently tended the growing plants of transcendental loving service he had planted in their heart. Los Angeles, 1968. Srila Prabhupada returned to find the devotee living and worshipping in an exciting location on Hollywood Boulevard. A large Sankirtan party organized by his disciple Tamal Krishna will chant Hare Krishna on the street all day and sell back to Godhead magazine in a large quantities than ever before. As many as 200 magazines a day with a collection of over $100. Haribol! Then one day, shortly after Prabhupada's arrival, the landlord evicted the devotee from their place on Hollywood Boulevard. With no temple, the devotee moved to scattered locations throughout the city, as many evening as possible. However, they will all gather in someone's garage, lend to them for evening, and Srila Prabhupada will chant Hare Krishna with them and lecture. Then Prabhupada rented a former Christian church on La Cienega Boulevard. He introduced a more regulated deity worship and an increased Sunday love feast. Each week will bring a new, specially planned festival with a big feast and hundreds of guests. This new program in Los Angeles encouraged Srila Prabhupada, and he wanted to see them introduced in ISKCON centers throughout the world. So, since today is Ekadashi, and also we are observing a fasting for Varaha Dvadashi. So, Varaha appearance, Varaha appearance is tomorrow. But we are fasting today. Because Ekadashi fasting is not completed till the time we do Parana. And if we do Parana tomorrow, then we cannot fast for the Varahadeva Dvadashi. So therefore this system is being made. On Ekadashi we are fasting first half till 10 o'clock without any water. Or even Ekadashi prasadam like a fruits or a grain or some Anukalpa prasad, that also will avoid till 10 o'clock. Varahadev is the supreme personality of Godhead himself. And he appeared because the earth was sank into the Garbhodak ocean. Because Hiranyaksha took away the metals, precious metal from the earth. The meaning only Hiranyaksha. Hiranyam is gold, Aksham is eyes. The one whose eyes are always on the gold. In those days, there were big Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha. Now, we have tiny Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha everywhere. So because of that, the earth's balance fell down and sank into the Garbhodak ocean. So now, Lord appeared to Lord Brahmaji through his nose. And Brahmaji was wondering what happened suddenly. Some unique creature appeared through his nose. And Lord jumped into the water and again came out and squeezed the body. Generally we see that when animals they go in the body, especially water body when they go, especially hawk, and they squeeze the body, so the droplet falls everywhere. But when Lord Varahadev went into the Garbhodak ocean and came and squeezed the body, and the droplet fell on Brahmaji, the rose water fragrance was coming out. Brahmaji was amazed. Generally, people become frightened to see a unique creature. But by seeing a Varahadev, their fear goes away. Their fear went away. And when the hairs of Varahadev fell down, that became the Kusha grass. Kusha grass we use for the sacrifice. Kusha grass we use for deity worship. Kusha grass we use for the pran pratishtha when deity worship happen. The deity installation happen. So Kusha grass is very, very purifying. So Varahadev's hair became Kusha grass. Varahadev form is so gigantic that if you take all the water of this universe, including Garbhodak ocean, saltwater ocean, the rivers, the lakes, the saltwater ocean, and the Garbhodak ocean, if we bring all the water together, and if we try to pour in one of the Romakupa, what do you call Romakupa? Pores. Still that pore will not be half filled of the entire water of this universe. And the same Varahadev, when he comes as a Krishna, he'll take bath with one bucket of water. Very amazing. And second thing, sometimes people like they make this acquisition of Supreme Lord. The Lord is a partial. taking side of a devotees or devatas and killing the demons. And this is a quality of Lord. Although it seems that externally he is favoring devatas, restoring the Indra, Indrari Vakulam Loke, Mrugayanti Yuge Yuge, or he is killing the demons. Generally, we see two people fight or somebody kill other person. So lot of enmity involved in that. He becomes so envious of that person, he can't see him anymore, and therefore he finish him. But when Lord kill any demon, he kill without enmity. And after killing, he sent them to Brahma Jyoti, and even to some of them back to Godhead. So even Lord's killing, the mercy is involved in that. So whatever Krishna does is merciful. Even he kills somebody, he is showing mercy upon them. So in this way, Varahadev is very kind to his devotee. We compare to Varahadev that my consciousness, the way earth is submerged deep into the Garbhodok ocean, my consciousness is deep submerged into the lower activities. And Lord Varahadev can bring and place my consciousness at his lotus feet. Varahadev Bhagavan ki, Srila Prabhupada Lilamritam ki, Srila Achyut Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Anand, would you like to add something, please? Prabhupada ki jai.